Hey, everybody. This is Not Your Mother's Day Fantasy League podcast. I'm your host, Mike. As always, we are joined by my esteemed analyst, Dave Buck. He does all the research, so you don't have to. How we doing, Dave?
Hey, Mike, doing pretty good today. Long day of travel coming back from Dallas, Texas from the weekend. Trying to get things caught up on the football site and on the MDFL. Got a lot of things going on this weekend. I didn't get to watch it, but it still counts, I guess.
Yeah, it does kind of suck when you don't get to watch the games. You don't always see what you missed.
Yep.
But yeah, we're going to go over our pick 'em like we normally do, jump into the matchups. And of course, this week was the trade deadline, so we have a lot of action that happened there.
A lot of stuff going on. We've got on top of that, we got teams getting eliminated. We got somebody who made the playoffs. AFC East is turned upside down again. That is a crazy division right now going on, and we'll get into that in just a little bit here. And probably one of the most, I don't want to say it's the most important, but maybe the most unusual thing is that they actually had a victory sighting. Jason did with his Colts. He's got a victory in hand.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's ever been able to hold one in hand before the games have been out, but he's got one right now. And we'll talk about that game because somebody's putting up one of the lowest scores ever in MDFL, and he's a recent MDFL champion. But I'm not going to mention any names, Dustin.
Not yet, at least. Oh, never mind. Cat's out of the bag. That's okay. He doesn't watch anyway.
Oh, this is just an SAV anyway, so.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump into. We'll start with our survivor pool. It's funny as 2 weeks ago when everybody but me and Mike were eliminated, he actually sent me a message. He's like, "Hey, do you want to call it and let I don't know if I should be telling everybody this, but I thought it was funny. It doesn't hurt anything." He's like, "Hey, do you want to call it and like let everybody jump back into this thing, or are we gonna try to play for a winner?" I'm like, "We've rebooted this thing 4 times.
And we still have enough weeks to reboot it again. Take your $100, let us back in.
No, we're gonna keep running it. So we did not talk about our picks, however, and we both picked the Chargers, who of course won. Seemed very safe to take them at home against a very poor Titans team.
Well, anyways, I just want to say from the experience that we have in our survivor pool, the fact that you have made it 5 weeks, okay, both of you have made it 5 weeks is so impressive because this is the longest running survivor pool we've had all year.
Yeah, I'm already a champion at this point. So
yeah, but you could be walking away with $100 right now, but no, you're holding out for 200.
That's right. The 100 barely covers the 3 previous time I failed at this. So
we can't all be like Detroit Jordan and win after 1 week, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Some of us game in after 2 weeks. So pick 'em. Dave still top of the pack. I did gain a little tiny bit of ground against you guys, but not a lot.
I cannot, this is 2 weeks in a row, and I don't know what that one owner is, that Ohio State, not Cleveland, okay, that he's picked Carolina 2 weeks in a row. And somebody's been right about it. I don't want to say his name, but I cannot believe that somebody has picked Carolina 2 weeks in a row and he's been correct. So, but I say that, and if you look, he's only got 7 proper victories for the week. So he's only got 7 picks for the week, but yet he is on that Carolina bandwagon. So
I guess he is. Yeah, 2 weeks in a row, the only one. Look at that.
Not going to mention his name, but two weeks in a row he's picked Carolina and he's been successful.
Yeah, we're not going to mention his name when we talk about his fantasy team either. So, but without further ado, let's do that. That's the whole reason we do this thing. We don't even have to get into my matchup. This thing is over. My team has been terrible.
Hold on, before we get there, let's talk about what preceded the week before we got there, because we have a whole bunch of roster jambalaya going on. Trade deadline closed last Thursday, 7 o'clock. Thursday morning at 10 o'clock. Taxi Snipes closed. So there was 18 trades. 18 trades last week.
Yeah, it was.
That's got to be the biggest trade week that we've had. Just shook everything up. And I'll just run through them quickly here. Commanders and Cardinals. Washington giving up DJ Moore. Arizona moving James Conner. That's an interesting one. Arizona's getting a receiver next year. Commanders taking James Conner for a playoff run there. Denver Broncos and Gavin, the Ravens. Broncos giving up Wandale Robinson, Isaiah Likely, Trevion Walker, Kenneth Murray, and Gavin making his playoff push, picking up. He gave up David Naku and a first round draft pick from Raven to get that haul from Sean. Cardinals and Falcons did a trade. Keaton for Quincy Williams. Bears and Lions did a trade. Bears traded a 2025 second round draft pick for Baker Mayfield. That's an interesting pick here. We'll talk about that one later in the year. Probably Baker Mayfield's probably going to be a holdout at the end of the year. So if you're going to have him for next year, it's going to cost you a lot more than his minimum salary he's got right now.
Yeah.
Panthers made a trade. Packers, well, that was more of a snipe. Looks like Packers gave up a 7th round pick, and they took a punter from Cincinnati. The Bengals and the Patriots made a big move. Bengals gave up Keon White, Pete Werner, linebacker, 2025 7th round pick, 2026 3rd round pick, and Joey gave up Hunter Henry, Javon Holland, safety Miami, and a 1st round pick and a 3rd round pick. So those two top teams are trading stuff off. Then we got Philly and the Seahawks getting up a deal. Philly giving up safety Grant Delpit and a 4th round draft pick and a 2026 3rd round pick. And Seahawks giving up Budda Baker. Good move for Seattle. Baker was on a 1-year deal. Shannon solidifies his safety spot with Budda Baker, who's just been lights out this year, putting up a lot of points at that safety spot. Then we got Bengals and Broncos, both of those two teams active. The Bengals giving up Kyle Pitts, Demario Davis, and Jalen Hawkins. Broncos giving up Michael Penix, Travis Kelce, and Josie Jewell. I'm not sure what Sean's doing with all his tight ends there. He's got more tight ends than what he can play. I don't know. Maybe he's not. I don't know. Maybe he's got a tight end fetish. I don't know what it is, but we'll let Sean do his thing. Then we got the Commanders and Seahawks doing a trade. I really like this trade. It's a good haul for Josh. Commanders giving up Tuli Tuiasosopo, who I'm very high on, and a 3rd round pick from 2026. And Seattle giving up Chuba Hubbard, who just signed a big contract extension and looks like he may be in Carolina for a while, upsetting the Jonathan Brooks owners on that trade. But anyways, Patriots and Chiefs. Mike, you got into some action here. Mike, you gave up Rashad White and picked up a 7th round draft pick. Was that a taxi snipe there?
It was a taxi. Based on last year's performance, I thought 17 mil seemed pretty fair, but based on this year's performance, that's a huge overpayment. This was his last year of taxi eligibility, so I was not trying to carry the additional 2 years of that contract in anymore. So pretty easy for me.
Cool. Another trade, Vikings and the Falcons. I gave up Ventrell Miller. He's a wet tag candidate. He's on a minimum salary. Hayden's going to be able to sign him and have himself a nice, cheap linebacker for next year. I got a 2026 3rd round pick out of that. Then we had another trade between the Vikings and the Eagles. Hayden and Shannon going at it again. Hayden giving up Chaz Surratt, linebacker for the Jets, and a 1st round pick. And the Eagles are giving up Aaron Jones, Will McDonald, Mac Wilson, linebacker, and a 2nd round draft pick from the Packers. So big players moving there. Then the Eagles and the Falcons got a deal done. Eagles giving up DeForest Buckner, and the Falcons giving up Michael Pittman. I really like that deal. This is my first defensive tackle I've had in this league that actually knows how to get points on a weekly basis. So pretty excited about that one.
You should really like that deal.
I hope so. We had a trade between the Patriots and Browns. Dan's always getting his nose in to do a trade every week. I think Dan just likes to trade. So, but then again, so do I. That's why I'll never be good at this league. Anyways, Patriots gave up running back Alexander Madison and a 2026 fourth round pick and a sixth round pick. And the Browns gave up Cade Otton this year, tight end for Tampa Bay, who has been also lights out. Has been a very up and coming tight end. I'm not sure what the salary contract is on that, but might get, well, there it is. Salary's $932,000. Pretty freaking cheap. So, anyways, next trade, Saints and the Lions. Saints giving up Hunter Henry, another tight end on the move. Lions giving up a 2025 sixth round draft pick from the Eagles. Falcons and the Seahawks. Falcons giving up a 2025 sixth round pick. And Josh giving up Julian Love, safety for Seattle. I may need that with Kyle Hamilton getting hurt this weekend, not being able to play. Packers and Seahawks. Packers gave up Ramon Stevenson and a 2025 third round pick and a 2026 second round pick. And Seahawks gave up Jacoby Meyer and TJ Hawkinson. Green Bay packing in the players. They are definitely all in this year. Good job on Josh moving some one-year contracts, getting some draft picks and some players for next year's rebuild. So a good job on Josh, both sides there. Our last trade of the year, I don't look at the expiration date. It actually came in 6 minutes before the deadline. I checked it in. I approved it after that, but it was in time by 6 minutes. So right up to the trade deadline it was. Detroit Lions gave up a 2026 sixth round pick. Again, Josh picking up the sixth round pick for a cornerback, Cameron Bynum. So Josh did a great job this weekend of picking up draft picks, cleaning out his team out of contention for a while. So those that are in the playoffs hunt, they did some shuffling of their rosters, getting a lot stronger, and very few teams besides Josh took benefit of trying to better their team for next year. So
tons of action at the trade deadline. No surprise.
18 trades,
there.
a lot to report this week. So
I guess I'm just too picky. I had some offers and I didn't like any of them.
So you're too attached to your players,
I guess.
So all right. So now let's kick into the action. Let's see what happened this week.
Getting a little ahead of myself. So yeah, I'm gonna lose again. Moving on.
Well, before we go up there, I'll break it down for you. You don't have to. So
you're good.
If you want to put your sound on mute, you can, or turn your sound off or whatever. Sean, he's up by 92 points. He's got one player left, Brandon Fisk, and you've got one player left, Tyreek Hill. Not enough to overcome 92 points. Believe it or not, Sean, the defending champion, he is not dead yet. He's 6-7, still in the playoff hunt. You're going to fall to 4-9. So kudos to Sean. He's still alive. I mean, he made it as a playoff team last year when he won his championship, and he hasn't given up hope yet. Although they are getting slim, but he is still mathematically alive.
The math still allows it. All right, here's another one here. Looks like Hayden's going to pull away.
Okay, I do want to say one thing here. When I set the schedule earlier this year, I didn't realize that how I affected things. So when I put the schedule together next year, I think the first 10 weeks I had it where we were doing all the AFC and then the NFC. I think this week they're kind of intermixed and stuff like that. I know how to fix that problem for next year, so they'll kind of be in a similar order, so we can talk about divisions or conferences and divisions a little bit easier than what tonight's going to be. So anyways, I already looked into that problem. I'll fix it for next year. We got Minnesota and Chicago. The Bears coming in at 8-4. Vikings 7-5. This is part of that NFC North conference that is very tough. Going to be beating on each other for the next 2 weeks after this week. And here we got a matchup of the Bears and the Vikings. Minnesota find themselves up by 54 points. He's got his kicker left and defensive tackle Braden Fisk. Chicago's got two players left, Kyren Williams and safety Quentin Lake. Not going to be enough to catch Hayden. I'm going to give Hayden the victory here. Interesting thing here is he's going to jump to 8-5. The Bears are going to fall to 8-5. This division is going to get a lot tighter playoff race wise. We'll get to the Packers in just a little bit. Packers are going to end up with a win. Detroit, Jordan's going to fall to 8-5. And you're going to have three of those teams all sitting at 8-5, looking for that playoff spot. And the cool thing about it is schedule means that they're going to be playing each other in the next 2 weeks too. So, as the NFC's got the North, the AFC's got the East, and they'll be pounding out each other. Given somebody's taking losses those next couple of weeks, which are probably going to straighten out our playoff race.
Wow. All right, we got a
This is
final here. So the Packers are going to go 12-1.
Packers are going to go 12-1. Jordan came into this 8-4. He's going to fall to 8-5. He's going to be tied with Minnesota and Chicago, and he still has to play Minnesota and Chicago in the next 2 weeks. So there's a lot of stuff to be resolved in the NFC North there. Green Bay, he's up by 31 points. He's got defensive end Byron Young, not that it matters. But tip of the cap to Green Bay Mike. Put up a great number last week on Monday night and ended up setting the MDFL points weekend. He topped me by about 1.5, 2 points. So I think the highest score he scored last week was 440 points. So kudos to Mike.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely makes anybody that scores over 400 points pretty much not even worth talking about, especially if they do it this week.
Yeah, if we do it this week, it's not a big deal. I mean, if Mike can put up 440 points, it's really not a big deal if somebody puts up 400 anymore.
Right, yeah.
Moving along, probably one of the most interesting games that we have left for tonight. And keep in mind that we do have Miami and the Rams tonight. Okay, so we got some big receivers going on there. We got some quarterbacks that can sling it, so it could be a high-scoring game here. Carolina comes into this game at 8-4, top of the AFC or the NFC South, and he's up by 60 points. But Tampa Bay, Dustin here, he's 4-8. He's got 4 players left by the name of Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Jared Verse. He's got 3 players, so it's Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, and Jared Verse. Down by 60, those 3 players, they're averaging 50 points a week. Put them together for 50 points a week. And, it only takes, 1 touchdown or 2 touchdowns to upset that. You know what Cooper Kupp can do if Tyreek Hill's average is 12 points, for the year, which is crazy insane. So, if he just puts up a number of, 25 or 30, which is very doable for him, right. Tampa Bay could be walking away with a victory, a big upset, actually, if he gets this.
Pretty sure he averaged double that last year. So, wow.
And it sounds like you're speaking from experience there, Mike.
Well, yeah, I am. And man, he had Dustin here with Parsons on the bench. Yeah.
Parson has not played for the last couple weeks. He's been held out, but by golly, you got to play him whenever he's eligible to play. So
yeah, I didn't see exactly when he was. They said he was going to start, but still, I'd be.
Who did he end up starting at defensive end at? Yeah, Matt Judon.
Oof.
Yeah, there's no pass rush in Atlanta. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but still could get interesting. Tyreek Hill is more than due. So
anyways, this will be a game to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
And Dustin very much alive in this game, even though he's down by 60.
Sean says he's going to average 400 next season. So if that happens, then we'll start talking about it.
Oh, that's wishful thinking, but
yeah,
okay.
Good luck.
Maybe he's playing in 2 leagues. Maybe he's playing in 2 leagues.
Yeah, he's adding them
together. You add them together, and it's a total of 400. Maybe that's what it is, Sean.
There you go. Nice.
So next one we got is Giants in Washington. They both got 2 players left. Washington's up by 110 points. It's got A-Chain and Jordan Brooks left. Giants have got Waddle and Calais Campbell left. Not enough for the Giants to make up the difference. So Washington's going to win this one, move 9-4. The Giants going to fall 4-9. The interesting thing about this one, and of course my games are out of line. Washington and Philly this week are tied at 8-4. Philly's going to take a loss this week, and so we're going to get a swap in the NFC East on who the top of the division leader is on that one. So
Yeah, Lamar going off, no surprise there. And man, Chuba Hubbard owners got to be pretty happy right now with that big contract he got.
Yeah, Joe Roberts happy too. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see a running back by committee when Jonathan Brooks is ever healthy to play.
Yep. And then moving on to your matchup in the NFC South here, looks like you're going to get another W.
Yes, I'm sitting. I'm up by 69. I got quarterback Stafford and a Miami offense left, and Brent's got his punter left. Feel pretty good that the punter's not going to get 69 points plus.
Hey,
So
but kickers are people too, all right?
they are kickers are people too. I know they are. So and by the way, the best kickers always have two legs. So I just want to put that out there.
Unless they got a cyborg leg on the other side,
Yep.
then they get to kick with it.
So
All right, moving to
next
the
game we
next
got
one
Jackson and
here.
Houston. Um, Jackson's up by Jacksonville's up by 114 points. He's got his offense left. Houston, Josh, he's got two players left. David Long and another defensive piece that I couldn't find. Wasn't going to spend a long time finding because it's not going to matter. Eric and his Jaguars are going to move to 8-5. They're still on top of the AFC South there. Josh is going to fall to 4-9. So,
Oh, does he? Does he, Nick?
yeah.
It's only one plate for the whole league, not one each. So it's not a lock.
So are we playing one? Well, we haven't defined. Are we actually playing one license plate, or are we playing one for each league? So I might have to take a vote on that one. So
Yeah. I think I know how Brent's going to vote, but
so
okay. Moving down to the AFC South, we got a barn burner here. Oh, no, we don't, but we have one of the worst scores of all time.
yes, I looked it up today. This is the sixth lowest score that has ever been in the MDFL.
Oh,
Got to talk to Nick. See if Nick can't clean up all the zeros from when people don't put in their roster after they've been eliminated. It just clogs that up. I don't know if we can clean that out or delete that or whatever. But I had to move the cursor to put the top 100 or 200 teams there. But did the math and sixth. But hey, kudos to Jason. I don't know if Jason's listening, but he is doubling his win total tonight. He's got a game in hand. He's got two players left. He's got a safety and a linebacker. So pile it on, Jason, while you got the chance. Just pile it on. You're taking down an ex-MDFL champion. Kudos to you, buddy.
Yeah, a lot of single digit scores in that matchup. Ugh. Okay, over to the NFC West.
Here's another interesting game. First of all, Seattle got a victory last week. Seattle is down by 3, so the Niners are up by 3. Let's talk about the Niners first. Niners are in the top, in the beginning. They're at the top of the division in the NFC West at 6-6 right now. The Rams are one game behind him right there for the playoff, that division berth right there. Matt's up by 3 points. He's got linebacker Christian Rosenboom left. Seattle comes back after all their trades that they made this week. They're down by 3. He's got a coach left. He's got a coach and an offense left, and he's got tight end Jonnu Smith. So not sure what Rosenboom will do for him, for Matt, but I'm not going to call it. I think Josh has got a chance to pull off an upset, even though he doesn't have 3 good pieces. He does have 3 pieces that could score points tonight. So,
Bud Dupree with a decent game on the bench.
so anyways, I mean, if Josh pulls this win out, I mean, it definitely tightens things up in the NFC West with the Rams.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. Back over to the AFC East. Who does Rich have left? Can he pull this off?
Rich cannot. I'm sorry, Rich. AFC East. This one is better than a soap opera because this one is changing division leaders and teams are falling from first to third, third to first, second to third, and they're for sure going to probably get 3 teams into the playoffs here. And we'll talk about the next game with the Patriots and Jets and how this plays into it. But they're all at 9-3. Buffalo, Jeremy, he's on the bottom side of the tiebreakers right now. When I looked at the tiebreakers from the first three divisional games, Joey held the tiebreakers on that. And actually, I believe that Buffalo was probably in that three spot of the three 9-3 teams. So now Jeremy's up by 33 points. Miami's got one player left, Zach Seiler, defensive tackle. I mean, he's capable of doing 33 points. Chances are it's probably not going to happen. So I'm going to give the victory to Jeremy and the Bills. He's going to go to 10-3. Miami's going to go to 9-4.
Tough beat there.
And then this one, the Patriots and the Jets. You gotta love this. Joey's been running his mouth for the last 2 months, trying to take division, making all these trades. He owns all the tiebreakers. He's back on top of the division this week. He's up by 27 points right now. He's got defensive end Jared Verse left. Okay. And I just want to point out that he's averaging 17 points a game. So I just want to throw that out. The Jets, Braxton, I'm sure that there's a little trash talk between Joey and Braxton. And Braxton would probably love nothing more to mess up Joey's season here. But anyways, Braxton's got 4 players left. He's got Devon Achane, Cooper Kupp, Quentin Lake, and linebacker Christian Rosenboom also. And those 4 players are averaging 73 points combined, which is more than enough to overcome the 27 points that Joey's got in a lead and the 17-point average that Jared Verse has got to play. So this is a game that could flip. Braxton would probably have bragging rights and piss off Joey for quite a while if he messes this up, especially with the Bills winning this week, and then him and Joey and Miami's going to be a game behind Buffalo if Braxton pulls out the upset here.
Wow. So, the intrigue.
This is good. This is good stuff right there. I love to see how this AFC East is just going to play out. And you think Braxton's out of it, but he very much is a factor. And if Braxton ends up doing this each of the next 2 weeks, he's got a say in it. And actually, Braxton was the AFC East champion last year. So give it to Braxton, but that'll also teach Joey to have a low week. So.
All right, back to the NFC West. This one's pretty close.
This one is close. Arizona's up by 6. Both teams have 2 players left. Arizona's got Puka left and his kicker. Kickers are people too. We want to give the shout out to the kickers. But the Rams got 2 players left. They've got quarterback Tua, who can put up points as long as he doesn't get concussed, and defensive tackle Kobe Turner. So here's an interesting game where if the Rams win this game and the Niners end up losing that other game that we talked about earlier with Seattle, we could have a tie between the Rams and the Niners at 6, both teams being at 6 and 7 in the NFC West. And right now, Rams own the tiebreaker because he beat them earlier this year. So another intriguing playoff move starting to unravel here.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. 45 on the bench, but not every day you see 3 sacks out of a defensive tackle. Woo!
Not unless you were playing for the New England Patriots this week, going up against that Chicago offensive line, who gave up 9 sacks. I mean, if you're a Bears fan, you have got to be saying, get me an offensive line. They've got all the weapons, but if you can't protect your quarterback, you can't win games when you give up 9 sacks. Nope. I mean, that's more sacks than the Atlanta Falcons have all year. I mean, the Falcons pass rush, we need to play against the Bears. That's what we need. We need to play against the Bears offensive line. That would fix that problem.
The solution to a bad pass rush. Play the Bears. That's true. All right.
This one here is all but over here. The Raiders are up by 62. Matt's got 1 player left, Jordan Brooks, linebacker. Chargers got 2 players left, Stafford and defensive player, I'm going to guess Jalen Ramsey. Didn't spend a whole lot of time looking for it. Why you would start 3 cornerbacks, not exactly sure, but that's what you got left to play. Raiders are going to go 12-1. Kudos for Matt continuing that run. Matt, we're pulling for you to get that number 1 seed against somebody that we're not even going to talk about tonight. Yep. So kudos to you. Keep the pressure on. We're rooting for you.
Also, Matt pulling off a W here in a down week for him. That's always big. He's going to be well under 300 and still stay in the W column. And he's going to be the 3rd team that's 12-1, which is why it's not that big of a deal. So when we talk about the last 12-1 team, we're not even going to we're not going to give it any hype.
It's not a big deal to be 12-1 if there's 3 teams that are doing it. So.
Right, exactly. Yep. All right, we got a final here.
This one is final. This one's interesting. Dallas is going to win this game by 8 games. Donnie's going to go to 7-6. He's going to be right there, game out of that last playoff spot. The interesting thing with the Eagles loss is with the Eagles loss, and if Washington can win, that's going to be a flip in who's leading the NFC East. And wow, I mean, there's just, 1 week Shannon's the top dog in that division. The next week, the Commanders are. So that one's flipping, and they both have to be playing each other next couple weeks also. So,
man, everybody in that Bengals Ravens game just went off. Obviously, Chase with that 60 burger, but I believe Lamar and Burrow. Lamar was pretty close to 50 points as well.
Yep.
And then no big deal here. Looks like the Bengals are going to win this one.
No, not a big deal here. Probably the most important thing here is Dan's going to lose this game. He's going to fall to 7-6. Probably the most interesting thing about that is Gavin's going to win his game. We'll talk about that game in just a little bit. And those two will probably flip. Actually, they'll both be 7-6. They have to play each other in the next 2 weeks, probably for that 3rd playoff spot, 3rd wild card spot in the AFC East. Just for what it's worth, somebody's got 2 players left. He's got a coach and a safety. Not a big deal if he ends up getting to that 400 mark. That's really not that big of a deal because the Packers put up 440 last week. Yeah. So I guess that's what you do when you're an 11-1 team. You put up 440, not a measly 400 points, right?
Yeah. And, with 2 other 12-1 teams, it's not even that big of a deal.
Not even a big deal. And, winning the AFC North is not glorious like it was in the past when you had a solid Pittsburgh team there. You got a weak division that you're beating up on, so it's really not a big deal. So
yeah, when you got people willing to give you the number 3 running back in fantasy, what do you expect is going to happen?
So yeah. So we got anything else going on in the AFC North? Yeah, let's look about it.
Yeah, this one here. Far more intriguing matchup than that last one, I got to tell you.
Yep. Here we got a fun one here. Pittsburgh, he's up by 13. He's final. It's a good week. I'll tip my hat to Jim. He has a good week, 349 points. We won't even talk about who he left on the bench to do a little bit better. Ooh. Gavin is in a playoff hunt here. He's got Kyrie Williams and Calais Campbell left. Those 2 alone are probably going to make up the 13 points each, probably. I've got Baltimore winning this game, flipping the score here. Baltimore's going to go to 7-6, be in that tie with the Browns for that 3rd playoff spot with 3 weeks left to play. So very interesting. Gavin making some moves, make his team better. Mm-hmm. And again, I'll tip my cap to Gavin. Gavin was a lottery pick last year with the number 1 pick. Mm-hmm. And ended up, him and both the Raiders are 2 teams that were in the final 3 lottery picks, and they're both have a chance to be in the playoffs. So,
yep, he's definitely turned it around. Has a pretty good team this year.
Yep.
Oh, I was just looking through the people on the bench here that you alluded to a little bit ago. We got 40 out of Murray. Of course, Jordan Love's by. That's tough. The Jets, defense has been decent, but the Jets are just so down right now. I
Jets have been, they've been up and down, and I don't know what to play with. I mean, who do you? Does the defense show up? Does the defense not show up? Does Aaron Rodgers throw for 3 touchdowns? Does Adams become a receiver? Is Brees Hall running the ball? Are they going to give it to Braylon Allen? I mean, it's just I don't know what to make of the Jets. Jetss. Shit, shit,
um,
shit.
yeah, they're bad. That's about all we can make out of them.
So
There you have it. That is the full matchup breakdown right there. I do just for fun because I saw some huge numbers that just popped off the page. So I want to go ahead and look at these week 10 stat leaders here. I think you're going to see Jamar Chase at the top. Yeah,
okay,
60
raise your
burger.
hand and say if you're a dumbass and you traded away Jamar Chase from your team. Doesn't matter what you got for him. You're a dumbass for change. Just raise your hand. So
And then
enjoy that,
again,
Mike. Enjoy that, Mike Green Bay.
right?
You
And
raped
then
me on that
again,
deal, dude.
Namdi here was who was on benches, scoring 44 on the 3 sack total. Ooh.
And you got that
Uh,
Bajan guy right there, number 7 in the top 10.
yeah. I mean, no surprise there. I mean, every fantasy guru, including myself, I'm not including myself in the guru category there, said he would be a top 3 running back by season's end.
So,
No surprise.
and I would never be the owner to give that player away either. So, of
No,
course, I
especially
would be
not.
the guy who gave away 2 firsts and 2 seconds in the draft to have the rights to pick him
Yeah,
in our
that's
draft. So
different
that's how I value him, anyways.
because he's worth it.
So,
Yeah. Imagine getting his backup along with that.
oh man,
Wow.
what a handcuff to Algier is.
Crazy. Oh, okay. Well, that is week 12 now. Man, did
We is it 13? We got
13.
four. We got 4 games left.
Yeah,
We got 4 games left. We got 2 more weeks of division play, and then we got a doubleheader in week 13. So we got 3 more weeks, 11, 12, and 13 to go. Still a lot of playoff positioning to be figured out here. It's really fun to watch and see how things are moving. I mean, a lot of parity here in the MDFL for the playoff spots. So
yeah,
be
indeed.
interesting how that settles out, and go back to you can be 12-1 and it's not a big deal anymore unless you're Las Vegas or the Packers.
Uh, yeah, absolutely. Double header week. Oh man, I am in for some rude awakenings here. That one of the 12-1 teams I got to face. That's not going to end very well for me. And
Well, you know
Eric,
what?
who I
You'll have
admitted
31
when
teams rooting for you though.
oh, that's true. Exactly. I got a lot of people behind me. I expect my team to put its best foot forward. Problem is I have a Chicago Bear as my quarterback, and that was a terrible idea from the start. Uh, but yeah, should be interesting. Doubleheader week does not disappoint. This is going to get down to the nitty gritty right here. Is this our last doubleheader?
Yeah, that'll be the last doubleheader of the year, and actually, Week 13 is our last matchup before we go into the playoffs, and the Losers Bowl where they'll play for the 217 pick.
Oh, I'm ahead of myself.
So
It's screwing me up because it's
get into Week
yeah.
11.
There
You
we
got some,
go.
Week 11, you got some good matchups there. Um,
That's more like it. My bad.
Let me
Getting
pull
ahead of
some of those
myself
out
because
that I saw. For me, the Falcons and Panthers, Adam and I maybe playing for who's. I mean, if the Panthers lose tonight, we'll both be playing for whoever's going to lead the NFC South. We've been talking about the Browns and the Ravens, Dan and Gavin for the last couple of weeks. They play each other next week. The Packers and Bears, the Vikings and Lions play each other next week. Joey and Jeremy, Patriots and Bills play each other next week. Of course, I got to throw in Jets. Braxton and Rich play each other next week. We just got a lot of good matchups that are going to play a lot into the playoff race next week.
it's going to get interesting. More and more intrigue as we go.
And
So
by the
go
way,
Steelers.
Hayden Bajan is a lifer in Atlanta. So as long as he's in Atlanta, if he becomes a free agent and leaves Atlanta, I'll probably part ways with him. But right now, I'm going to wear the jersey. I'm going to be rooting. He's my favorite player right now. So
Yeah, I mean, judging by your hat and your screen name and your jersey and the team that you commish, I don't think he's going to go anywhere anytime soon.
I'm a homer. I get it. So again,
Yeah.
another reason I will never win in this league is because I pick homeboys.
But you've attached yourself to a very good player, so I can't be too mad at you there.
So
All right, guys, I think that'll do it. Dave, anything else you want to add?
that's all. That's all I've got for tonight. I'll have an updated power ranking for you tomorrow morning, and also an updated playoff positioning. Probably going to lose a couple teams, be eliminated for the year. Um, like I said, we'll have probably one more team that'll clinch for sure a playoff spot, but we don't need to talk about him. But anyways, I'll put it out there where the playoff races and stuff like that. And week 11, another round of divisional play will probably change all that up again. So exciting stuff in the MDFL. That's why we play. A lot of fun, a lot of unknowns right now.
Mm-hmm. Good times. Okay. Well, thanks everybody that joined and commented while we were doing it. You guys make it more fun for sure. Thanks for watching. Good luck to everybody that's got something on the line tonight. At least we should get a decent game now that the Dolphins and the Rams are somewhat healthy. Should be interesting.
I just want to give a shout out to all the kickers. I know that they're making it up on all the notes to the side, but kickers, punters, they're all people too. So we just want to give them a shout out also.
Right. That's right. Appreciate it, Matt. Also, a reminder if anybody else wants to join in on this, it's very easy, it's very user friendly. I send you a link. You don't even have to use your camera. You can just come on and chat with us.
You don't even
Door
have
is
to put your
open.
pretty face on here either.
That's right. We don't claim to be the experts. We're just the ones that are dumb enough to come on here and put ourselves out there. So
Dumb enough to do an SAV every week.
every week. All right, guys. Thanks, everybody. We will see you next week.
Thanks for joining us. See you guys.
Later.